My name is Mohammed Goni. I am civil servant, a lecturer at Department of Education, University of Maiduguri, specialized in language teaching. Importance of education. Before we look at the importance of education, let's just look at education as a concept. Education is a tool which imparts knowledge, information, and skills which enable people in order to sustain within how they occur in life, in society, and nation at large. As Aristotle once observes, education is a process of creating sound mind in a sound body. That is to say, if an educated person within our midst, there is no any astray along on the process. So let me come back to your questions. Importance of education. Education cannot be overemphasized. That is, the importance of education cannot be overemphasized. First, let us look at the importance of education as to prevent war and crime, and prevention of war and terrorism. One, maintaining law and others. Another importance of education is to communications. Now, as an educated person, this will help you to understand how to read and write. So this is the beauty of education, because education is a backbone of society. So as you can see, all the problem of nowadays here in Northeast generally is because of lack of education. So research revealed that the genesis, that is the root causes of the crisis here in Northeast, as a result of lack of education, poverty, unemployment, and others. So if you look at the importance of education, take for instance how education is very important, because of if an educated person in our midst, like I said, we don't have a kind of go astray, because all these crises, like I said, as a result of lack of education. So that's why if you look at education is very important. There is saying which says challenge is an opportunity. Now, because of this pandemic, there is way in which you are going to recover and revitalize education in two ways. First, technology. We have to adopt and transform education through what? Through innovations and education of what? Technology. And because of this COVID-19 and pandemic, we can't just stop the school. That's why if you look at how the learning is now changed to, that is what is called remote learning. Everything is now digital. Let me give you instances in which even nowadays we have social media platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, Classroom, Google Classroom. On this process, if you at least transform education through using technology, at least you can now revitalize and recover the education. Secondly, another way in which you are going to recover and revitalize education through what is called accelerated learning. Accelerated learning is a situation in which you are going to kind of shorten the time frame of the program. After shortening the time frame, let's for instance, if the semester, that is our tertiary level, maybe if the term in our school rotation, for example, like 12 to 13 weeks, for accelerated learning, you are going to shorten it maybe as 6 or 7 weeks, depending on how the arrangement. So within this, you are going to teach the contents completely because of pandemic. This two way is very important. One, technology. Two, accelerated learning. The role of education for peace and development. You see, like I said, education is the backbone of society, and it plays vital roles on peace building. Right now, I'm one of the researchers in developing curriculum-based education to counter violent extremism. So, process you are going to enlighten people that the root cause and genesis of this crisis as a result of lack of education. Now, if you are now enlightening people as the causes and what are few of the crises, I think you mitigate, all these problems as a result of, crisis. So by doing this, you are going to, create a kind of peaceful coexistence among people. Now, in situation whereby all the, community, if they were educated, they will live in peace and harmony. So by doing such, you are now, education is now playing a vital role towards what? Towards mitigating crisis and what have you in the country. Do I think education is a fundamental human right? In the answer to these questions, let us look at how the fundamental is all about. As enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, though I'm not a lawyer, Section 33 to Section 46 of the 1999 Constitution has spelled out all the fundamental human rights. But the question is education, is it part of this section mentioned? The answer is no. But there is a lot of policies and programs in states that make education to be compulsory. So let's try and publicly and make it clear to the people that yes, education is a fundamental human right nowadays, because you can't do without education. Lifelong learning opportunity for the people. You see, like I mentioned, education is nowadays even compulsory to everybody to have educated. So the lifelong learning opportunity, it is granted through what is called let everybody enrolled into the educational, be it formal or informal, let everybody to be educated. And this has played a vital role, because education is a backbone of society. Now if everybody get equipped with education, if everybody is trained, if everybody is now educated, nobody can commit any kind of crime or whatever what we are now. Now let me cast your mind back to that's what is called social development goal, SDG. There is SDG in which they plan that ensure that from 2030 every Nigerian child will be educated. And this education is not only free but free, equitable and compulsory education from primary up to secondary education. So with this free, quality and equitable education from all angle of life. So from that 2030, we're now targeting, there's what is called target 10. At least they have 10 targets to achieve. And one of such target is to primary and secondary education for all children of from primary school to at least secondary school. That is free, compulsory and equitable. So after realizing this, you think that education is long life opportunity for all, because everybody get equipped with the knowledge.